All right, let's talk about building your own personal financial fortress. I mean, think about it. A stronghold that doesn't just protect you from life's crazy curveballs, but actually empowers you to go out and build the life you really want. So let's get into it and lay that very first stone together.
Okay, picture this for a second. You've got two people. They have the same job, they make the exact same salary, they start at the exact same place. Fast forward a few decades, one has built some serious wealth, they're comfortable, they're secure. The other, still living paycheck to paycheck, completely stressed out about money. They started on the same line, but they ended up in totally different worlds.
So what is it? What's the secret sauce that creates such a massive difference? I can tell you right now it's not luck, and it's definitely not magic. It's a strategy. It's a set of principles, and that is exactly what we are going to break down right now.
Every great building, every fortress, starts with a plan, right? You need a blueprint. Before you can even think about building, you have to survey the land. So this first section, it's all about getting crystal clear on where you're standing, right here, right now.
And this blueprint is surprisingly simple. It's just 3 steps. First, you got to track everything. I mean, every single dollar that comes in and every single dollar that goes out. Then, you put it all into buckets, needs, wants, savings. And finally, you just look. You identify where the money might be leaking. This whole thing is about gaining clarity.
And here's a perfect example of why this is so powerful. Let's say you do this and you realize, whoa, I'm spending hundreds of dollars a month at coffee shops. Now, this isn't about judging yourself, it's just data. But once you see that number, you get to choose. You might decide, hey, I'd rather put that cash into an investment and watch it grow. See? Awareness gives you power. It gives you a choice.
And that's really the heart of it. You absolutely cannot control what you don't measure. This simple act of paying attention, of being aware, it is the rock-solid foundation for your entire financial fortress. Everything else is built on top of this.
Okay, so our blueprint is drafted. We know the lay of the land. Now it's time to build the walls. These are your defenses. This section is all about creating that security, that buffer that's going to protect you from life's inevitable financial storms.
And the first, most important wall you're going to build is your emergency fund. The goal here is super clear, super simple. Save up enough cash to cover 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses. This is your moat. This is what protects you if you lose your job, or get a surprise medical bill, or any other crisis that pops up.
So how do you actually build it? Well, a few key things. First, keep it in a totally separate account that's easy to get to, but not too easy. Start small if you need to. Even a little bit helps. The key is just being consistent. And this is the big one. It is only for true emergencies. This isn't your I want a new TV fund. It's your financial life raft. Now, while you're busy building these awesome, strong walls, you also have to look for any holes. And high-interest debt, I'm talking credit cards, payday loans, that stuff is a gaping hole in your defenses. It's actively working against you, just eating away at your wealth from the inside out.
And if you want to see just how nasty this is, check this out. This chart says it all. You make a payment on a credit card with, say, 24% interest. Look at that giant bar for interest paid. That's how much of your money is just going straight to the bank. And that tiny little sliver next to it, that's what's actually paying down what you owe. You're on a treadmill, barely making a dent. That's why crushing this debt is absolutely critical.
All right, your defenses are up. Your fortress is secure. Now we get to the really exciting part. Making your money start working for you. It's time to fire up the growth engine. We are officially switching from defense to offense.
And the fuel for this engine is a beautiful thing called compounding. Put simply, it's your money making babies. And then those baby dollars grow up and start making their own baby dollars. It's like rolling a tiny snowball down a very, very long hill. It starts slow, but eventually it becomes an unstoppable avalanche of wealth.
And just how powerful can it be? Well, with enough time and consistency, compounding can lead to some truly mind-blowing numbers. This isn't about winning the lottery. This is the predictable result of just sticking with a solid plan over the long haul.
So how in the world do you get to a number like that? Well, this slide breaks it down. That huge number we just saw, it comes from a surprisingly achievable plan, investing just $500 a month and earning something like a 10% return, which is right around the historical average for the stock market. Let's see how that actually plays out over time.
This timeline is where the magic really becomes clear. Look, after 10 years, you're doing great. After 20, things are really starting to pick up steam. But then, look at that insane jump between your 20 and your 30. That's compounding hitting its stride.
That's the explosive growth phase. It shows you that time is, without a doubt, your single greatest ally in this game.
Of course, you've heard the saying, right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's where diversification comes in. By spreading your money across different kinds of assets, stocks, bonds, maybe some real estate, you'll lower your risk. You build a growth engine that's robust and can weather some storms, not one that's fragile and can break at the first sign of trouble.
So, we've drafted the blueprint, we've built the walls, we've fired up the growth engine. Your fortress is strong, and it's getting bigger. But the truly wealthy, they don't just defend their castle, they expand their territory. This final section is all about creating true financial resilience and hitting the accelerator on your journey. I mean, think about it this way. Relying on one single job for 100% of your income, it's like building your entire fortress on top of a single wobbly pillar. It's incredibly risky. But when you start building multiple streams of income, like you see on the right, well, now you're building a foundation that's wide, stable, and incredibly resilient.
So what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, you could start a side business or do some freelance work in your spare time. Or you could focus on building passive income, money that comes in while you sleep from things like rental properties or stocks that pay out dividends. The goal is just to have money flowing in from a few different directions.
But what's the one thing that underpins all of this? The blueprint, the walls, the engine, the expansion. It's knowledge. The more you learn about how money really works, the fewer dumb mistakes you'll make, and the more opportunities you'll start to see everywhere. Your education is your ultimate weapon.
Look, the bottom line is you have to become a student of the game for life. Read the books. Follow smart people you can trust. Make it your business to understand how things like taxes and retirement accounts actually work. The world of finance is always changing, and you've got to make sure your knowledge keeps up. So there you have it. We have laid out the entire plan, from the first sketch on a napkin all the way to the tallest tower. But here's the thing. A plan is totally useless without action. Your financial fortress is not going to build itself. So the only real question left is, what's the first brick you're going to lay today?